we passed Sonda in 2002 on December the 17th. That was the first day that I was the leader of the Senate Democrats. And that was the only day I got satisfaction from that job. We lost everything else we advocated for, which is why I cashed out and became Lieutenant Governor in 2007. Also, Christine Quinn, who I appeared with recently in the Bronx to combat the savage attacks there, and also right down here by NYU to condemn the climate that led to a young man, Tyler Clementi, taking his life in New Jersey, and 6 other suicides committed by gay students over the past month and a half because of the bullying and the atmosphere all around them. And so I want to thank the Speaker for her great service. And she is also a past director of the Anti-Violence Project. And also to David Wertheimer, and I'm thankful that David remembered that I did something productive in my early life when I first came to the legislature. And the incident probably that we're probably most proud of is that members of the Black and Puerto Rican Legislative Caucus, we always said it was the whole caucus, but it was actually 3 of us, myself, Assemblyman Roger Green, and State Senator Belmonette Montgomery, opposed the passage of hate crimes bill until sexual orientation was included in the legislation. We had to wait 13 more years for it to be passed in 2000, thanks to the help of Senator Tom Duane, but we still think that having a real hate crimes bill was worth the wait. Also to Richard Haynes and Clarence Patton, and our current Director Sharon Staple, congratulations to all of them for all the work that they have done. Now, there are a couple of names that were not in my briefing this evening. One is the former Developmental Director and Political Director of the Anti-Violence Project, Howie Katz, who first made me aware of the project 20 years ago. When, very modest. And I gave Howie an award at the first Courage event in 1997. So I just wanted to hope that he saved the award through these years, because it took me a while before he gets another one. Another name I noticed that was not on the list of people for me to thank tonight was Carl Palladino. You know,
Carl couldn't be here.
There are always catalysts to help bring us together, help us, look past our own differences within the struggle and coalesce. And I think Carl should have gotten an award for doing it this year. Because you have really got to be a special person to go out of your way in a busy campaign season to condemn the issues of marriage equality and also pride parades. First of all, who was the last person that condemned the parade? And I thought it was interesting that to counterbalance that, he had nothing to say about the violence last week on the bus in Long Island, where an innocent student who was presumed to be gay by some of his peers was attacked 3 times before he finally, on his own, went to school authorities, when the school monitor on the bus and the bus driver and the other students did absolutely nothing about it. This is the role of a statewide office, to condemn violence. Not a word from Carl or his camp, although I heard some of them were at the parade. Perhaps if he'd come with them, he'd have a different point of view. And also the fact that this occurred even after his apology. He still couldn't condemn the violence. And how much more depraved a crime could be committed than what happened to those 3 individuals in the Bronx at the hands of a gang of anywhere between 9 and 11 people. That was a crime. Not a word from the campaign. That was teenage violence. Not a word from the campaign. That was a violent reaction of homophobia. Not a word from the campaign. So it just lets us know that it isn't just Carl Palladino. There are a lot of people around the state who think the way he does, or he wouldn't have said it. And and it's just something for us to think about as we move forward. There's a lot in 3 years that I will have accomplished as governor, but nothing more significant, I think, than on September 13th when I signed the Dignity for All Students Act. This is an anti-violence project which speaks to physical violence. The reality is that some victims really remember the taunts and the angry remarks and the hate-spewed statements as much as they remember being punched or kicked or beaten. And the reality is that this goes on among young people seemingly more and more at this period of time. And the fact that all of you have helped us condemn it is something for which I hope you maintain a lot of pride about being members of supporters of this great organization. We had a task force on violence that came back with suggestions in July of 2009, and because of that we now have teacher training programs trying to alert school authorities and monitors as to what their responsibilities are in combating the bullying of students and the violence committed against students. Because of the violence in Hempstead High School that I graduated from 39 years ago, there is now, along with the FBI, a program where we are sitting down and speaking to students, and have spoken to already over 3,000 of them. And we're also helping to train law enforcement officials to recognize the symptoms and the symbols that connote that violence is going on and to take immediate action. So these are goals and principles set forth in government that were originally discussions about advocacy right here at the Anti-Violence Project. And so I just came here this evening to thank you, to congratulate the awardees, and to tell you you're doing a fantastic job, and I hope it will be a prelude to 30 more years of service, unless we get to the point where we think that society has finally become civilized enough that we don't need the Anti-Violence Project, and then we can just meet and have happy hours all the time.